everybody? Welcome back to the G1 League Phase 3 match where we have officially now seen absolutely everything. I'm Gods and I'm joined by Luminous here as we're getting ourselves into game number 3 between LGD China and LGD International. We're here in Group A of two groups here in Phase 3. Group A with Neolution, Orange, LGD China, LGD International and Rattlesnakes. Our opening match here. We've got ourselves to game 3, Luminous. What do you think is in store for us here in game number 3?
Well, Lifestealer and Lone Druid is not going to be best buddies, so that's a little bit nice to see. The drafts are a little bit one-sided if they are on the same play. Shadow Demon, Leshrac, a good ganking combo that we've seen from LGN a lot, and of course they will be roaming towards for tower kills as well in the mid-game. But for me, it's the Enigma pick here, something that we don't see too often. Magnus is no longer in the pool. It's a big AoE stun. If you do manage to land it, I think we're going to see some early game one-man black hole just to shut down Lifestealer, who's most likely going to be played by Brax.
Yeah, and this is a team who actually, LGD China, I think they first sort of brought the Enigma back to the Chinese metagame at the last G1 League LAN finals. It was when they upset IG. IG were using that face rush lineup there with the Night Stalker Bounty Hunter, and LGD said, well, let's just go with this big 5-man. They picked a lot of Mag, Enigma, some Batrider in there as well, but they had this really strong team fight. They ran a lot of Enigma offlane, and they even did an Enigma solo mid once, I believe. So it's something which they will send to the mid lane even. They'll generally send it to the offlane. They don't often run it as a jungle hero, but it's a really strong pick, and it's a hero that does match up pretty well up against the Lifestealer.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Enigma being in different lanes, the versatility of being a mid lane and an off lane or jungle. I feel like he's deceptively a very powerful laner because he could go into all these lanes and probably do well, if not win those lanes as well. I think Queen of Pain is one of the better matchup against Enigma because you could blow up the Ilons and get some free easy farm. But that's not only until like level 5 when you have the level 3 Scream. So depending on where Enigma goes, you could have a fairly easy time. And we all know the power of an early Mech Enigma or a Blink Enigma. Judging from how aggressive these games have been going, I gotta imagine something like a Soul Ring into a quick mix.
Yeah, I think the Mech BKB seems to be the most standard way of playing it. It does sort of limit your ability to get those black holes when you don't have that Blink Dagger up. And when you look at this lamp, Rubik Telekinesis is the only setup so far, but you've got to imagine they'll be looking to pick up something else to assist with Enigma getting into position. But having a BKB, I feel there's a Shadow Demon, there's a Leshrac, and there's bound to be more coming out from the LGD International side as far as disables and lockdown goes. So it's going to be a big key thing here when you've got a Lifestealer fighting into you. He's going to be on the front lines, and if you want to black hole him, you have to make sure there's not going to be anything to cancel that black hole.
Yeah, and so far there isn't anything to cancel that. Look towards LGD China to ban out a Beastmaster on this last ban. One of G's best hero, and it's basically a free counter to Enigma. Stormspirit, though, also a pretty good counter as well. We still have the Lifestealer plus Stormspirit combo, the bomb, and you could easily zip behind Enigma, pull him, and there's goes your black hole. So the pre-BKB Enigma is going to have a tough time landing these black holes, but he's not just a kind of one-trick pony. He pushes quite well. I mean, his stuns is quite legit. Midnight Pulse goes through BKB too. I mean, it's just not something you want to count on, but a decent spell at least.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got some strength to it. It's something which can give you some additional firepower in sort of the mid to late game stage where you're not really expecting it from. Anything to bring down a tanky late game lifesteal and potentially another sort of carry or semi-carry coming out of LGD International. I feel like you mentioned, the first thing you mentioned, they're not going to see the Lone Druid with the Lifesteal, which I think was a big pick up for LGD China. They made sure they grabbed the Lone Druid in those first 2 picks after the first pick Lifestealer, and we'll see what they try and run their draft off with instead. The Luna for Pycat being banned out. Generally Brax, I would say almost always Brax who plays the Lifesteal, which means we're going to be seeing Pycat on some other hero. If they get him a carry, it could be a safe lane solo, but this was the other hero I was just about to mention. We're going to see Pycat on a safe lane solo Nature's Prophet, I believe, and this is sort of a more aggressive early to mid game centric LGD International lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they love to TP in with the mech, and suddenly you're not only fighting about multiple trees, you're fighting an ultimate, and of course a lot of armor and heal being granted to heroes that are already very difficult to bring down, like the Lifestealer. Now Lone Druid is going to have a lot of kind of easy killing power against Shadow Demon and Leshrac. Once this bear gets, let's say, a phase and I want to say an armlet or a maelstrom, any one of those like quick attack speed items, he's gonna eat these kind of squishy intelligence heroes for lunch. Also, Nature's Prophet not really a good hero against Enigma either, as there is no direct stun to kind of cancel that black hole. Shadow Shaman being revisited a second time here for LG Gaming. Not exactly sure what that hero is really for. Maybe to preempt a Queen of Pain pickup here, but I guess just a little bit of counter push. Ether Shock did pretty good work last game.
Yeah, LGD China just love this as a general support here, and if you can get the levels and a little bit of farm on it, it justifies itself as a support pick, even without having the strong early game presence. We saw last game that Serpent Wards were great for pushing. You had a lot of lockdown to offer in those team fights. That's something which can always be useful, and if they do manage to not really struggle too much against the Trilan, which is likely to be coming at them as an offensive Trilan in the form of Shadow Demon, Leshrac, and Lifesteal, if they don't give away kills, if they manage to deny some XP using some pulls on with the Shadow Shaman as well as the Rubik, then that could be a Shadow Shaman and Rubik who have a lot of lockdown to offer up against the Lifestealer. If they can get a Telekinesis or a Hex before he rages, they can actually bring him down in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, that's predicates on Shadow Shaman being in good position, or the Blink Dagger like you talked about. But, I mean, LG Gaming known to farm their supports quite a bit, just give them that little bit of extra farm. And Enigma's one of those heroes that could take a solo lane early and then kind of back off once he gets enough farm and let his other two supports farm. But for now, we still don't know whether it's going to be a jungling Enigma. It's looking like it's going to be a laning one, though. But the makings of a trialing is the defensive trialing is available, and LG Gaming looking for another solo. Speaking of solo, LG is going to be picking up a Tinker, and there's a Juggernaut. So we're going to see Lone Druid solo, we're going to see Enigma solo, and probably a trialing involving that Juggernaut. But my question is on Tinker and how he will kind of contribute to this particular game.
Yeah, it's a hero that LG International haven't run a lot of, something which they, I imagine, have picked up from some of the Southeast Asian teams, because this is sort of the quintessential Southeast Asian pick, especially by some of the Singaporean teams, but even the Malaysian teams. Ohio for Orange Esports runs him a lot. MUFC have done it here and there, but the Singaporean teams, Zenith First Departure, love to run this hero. So they've versed Orange quite a few times recently, and it's now LG International running the Tinker. As for LGD China, I'm curious as to how their lanes work. They've got the Lone Druid as well as Enigma. Are we seeing the solo mid Enigma, or is this going to be Lone Druid in the mid lane? They've got the Trialing versus Trialing, and they could even send Sylar top up against a 1v1 with the Nature's Prophet. There's a lot of things LGD China can do with these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, if the two Trialings do meet each other, I gotta, again, favor the Trialing that involves the Shadow Demon and the Shrek, especially with the Lifestealer in front. It looks like they're going to go offensive, and let's see how the Radiant is going to be playing this. I think they would naturally go defensive trialing with Lone Druid being kind of the carry hero in that lane. Or, sorry, with Juggernaut, obviously, as Juggernaut's the trialing hero here. And of course, with the spin available, they're not really going to die, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't really... I don't see them getting kills on Juggernaut, especially. The only heroes they can look to kill is some of these supports if they get caught out of position, or you look to contest that pull if they're looking to use the pull. That's where LGD International generally look to make their mark. They go in, they tricep those kills. They've got the disruptor to lead things off, or an open wounds if Brax is the one getting there first. But it's going to be the offlane Enigma coming out from Zhao 8, so he's going to be in that 1v1 matchup. He's going to scan up a tree right off the bat. Is he going to convert this? He could get back to Fountain to get the mana back, but it doesn't look like it.
I'm not sure whether you could convert the enemy summons.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that.
I'm pretty sure you can. You definitely can. Well, you can use it on like ally ones. So I don't see why you couldn't use it on enemy ones.
Don't quote me on that. I think it's completely worth the conversion though. If he'd
have to get back to Fountain. Like it would chew through his
time. Yeah, he had time. Maybe he's a little.
He may have been a bit late to lane. That's the only issue.
Okay.
I don't know. It's if he could have got back to Fountain and back to lane, then definitely. But I don't know the maths.
All right. In any case, Sylar gonna be chomping it up on the mid lane here. In terms of the matchup against Tinker, who do you favor there?
I think Lone Druid in mid 1v1 handles almost any hero just fine. The issue is he's somewhat prone to gank. It's somewhat similar in some ways to an SF solo mid, where he's very squishy until he hits level 6. Well, SF not. I mean, squishy for other reasons, but SF is very prone to being ganked in the mid lane. We could see some rotations from the supports, but when you're going offensive trialing, you generally don't have your support go roaming for some early ganks.
I mean, there is no smoke to see. That's actually kind of odd here from LG. They always love to run the smoke to see. Maybe from game 1 where they held off their smoke till like minute 6, and then they tried it and it didn't work out. So maybe LG recognized that the LG China team will be completely prepared. And it's not even worth it to try. So no smoke in any case. Gods, you okay here?
Yeah, I'm okay. As you can tell, my voice is somewhat dying, but it's holding up. I need to get LD. I need to like tag team LD, do some like tag team wrestling going on.
Well, you're already done your part of the hate today, so.
No, I'm good. I just don't want to. I'll do my best to make sure I mute my mic whenever I get some coughs going. But we're gonna see some aggression top lane. Misery, maybe caught out of it. If there was any follow-up disables, that would have been death because Juggernaut was closing in with that spin.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rasta got the Ether at 1, which was pretty helpful in terms of challenging or trying to make sure that they do get the pull off and don't get too much EXP being stolen. This is quite reminiscent of how game number 1 went, at least in the trialing, where LG International has a very aggressive trialing that is built to design to win it. And again, LG China has a fairly better trialing this time in terms of fighting heads on, but I think if they just stay safe, don't get pegged off, they should be fine because they always will have the extra polling advantage towards them.
Yeah, I think it's always a big thing. Just look to starve your opponents in this trial versus trialing. You don't have to take them head on. Sure, you've got the Juggernaut who can look to get a bit aggressive here and there, but only if someone's got out of position. Misery's going to go back, try block off this pull, and now comes the Sentry Ward battles. DDC is there, Sentry Ward for the Sentry Ward, and it should be able to get this. I don't think LGD International can come here in time to stop this.
Yeah, they definitely cannot. Misery picks up a DD, gonna be heading mid here. Sylar did see that him pick that one up, and looks like immediate D-War happening out here. As Misery doing a good job in terms of finding these wards and then making sure that there's no further vision being granted out. In terms of the bot lane here, Pycat doing a fairly good job in terms of setting those Eidolons at Xiaowei. Xiaowei out of mana at this point. Who do you think has the matchup advantage in here?
Well, early bastering on Pycat. I reckon Pycat's the slight edge here. He's got level 2 treants up. He should be getting the last hit advantage at this bottom lane.
Well, the CS definitely says that like that. Of course, conversion does not exactly show the CFs. Meanwhile, back in the top lane here, a little bit of go attempt on LG China. Nothing off here just yet. Yeah, I wonder how this game is going to transition in terms of the mid game, because like the previous game, we talked about the important timing of the Luna ultimate. We talked about the timing of the Blink Dagger. It feels like this game is very different from that. There's not big timing. I guess if you want to count the mech and Blink timing from Enigma on the Dire, as well as Nature's Shroud finishing his particular mech, it doesn't feel like there is kind of much focus in terms of getting level or particular items being farmed. It's kind of just like getting XP, defending your tower, that kind of thing.
And I think we're going to see a bit of what's already starting to happen, even though right now it's only happening in small amounts. It's LGD China with the XP lead and LG International with the gold lead. LGD China using the pulls at top lane to deny a bit of XP, get extra XP on their supports, whereas LG International with a slight farm lead in their solo. They've got the slightly stronger solo lanes, partly because they have got the safe lane solo up against the off laner, and this offensive trial lane of theirs is pretty strong, able to deal a lot with the Jug and make sure that he doesn't get too much farm.
Back in the mid lane here, Tinker going to be going for Laser Rocket build. I think Sylar was very, very low HP and backed off quite early. You don't really know what the build you're up against, like a Tinker, until he used that March or until he shoot with the rocket. So better be safe and sorry. And Lone Tree is one of the very easy hero to kind of nuke down. But I am curious about this Laser Rocket build though.
He thought about it for some time. He was sitting level 4 with just one in each, and then it looks like he picked it up a bit later on.
And I actually think it makes sense, because if you look at this lineup, Healing Ward, Meg coming out, generally chip damage is going to be very good against a pushing team. I'm not sure whether it will be good against the LG China squad because of the Juggernaut Healing Ward.
Well, back to bottom lane, Enigma Xiaowei picked himself up as Bassering, but no soul ring on Enigma just yet. This makes this lane pretty difficult for him to keep on using those conversions, and as a result, it's Pycat leading the CS chance right now with 24 last hits. The next two, though, are on the Dire side. Enigma as well as Lone Druid on 20 and 19. Lone Druid at mid lane is managing to lead the Tinker. This laser rocket can only do so much in this 1v1 matchup. Lone Druid always has the ability to last hit using that Spirit Bear.
Yeah, and once Lone Druid turns level 6, it's going to be very, very difficult in terms of getting a kill on him. And it almost feels like if you go for the laser rocket build, you have to make sure you get at least 2-3 kills early, or else it's not going to be worth it, because you could have Breach of Travel and a better timing. Like, the laser rocket build doesn't help you farm at all.
Well, Xiaowei, bottle at bottom lane. That's going to solve some of his mana problems, but we'll have to see if he's doing some bottle crowing or just going to be looking to sustain himself as much as possible. And Pycat, he just sends treants at Edelons. Now he sends them at Xiaowei. This is just be as completely annoying as possible. And as a result, Pycat just getting all the last hits in the world with his hero.
I mean, Pycat, I guess he's getting CS, but yeah, it's going to be nice, although you do see Xiaowei threatening to come in with the Malefice. Yeah, getting CS is obviously nice, but I'm not sure exactly how quick that mech is, and how quick the mech is compared to Xiaowei's mech. Xiaowei farming pretty well as well, and I feel like Xiaowei could definitely get the kills happening, but First Blood happening on the mid lane, teleportation comes in. Shadow Demon went open with a disruption, Splitter to follow through, Edict to seal the deal.
Yeah, and First Blood, they're going to do some chip damage to this T1 tower here. Doesn't look like they'll be able to bring it down just yet. No mana for a Nature's Call coming out from Nature's Prophet, so they haven't really got the ability to continue this push on the mid lane, but hey, they'll take that first blood. The laser rocket build working out so far, but he actually has gone back for the Mad, so we're seeing a 2 points in each. And now Lone Druid is back towards the mid lane, but having given up a first blood, that's going to really hurt him at this mid lane, slow down his farm quite dramatically.
Yeah, kind of unintuitive with the 2-2-2 build, but just something of a player preference. I want to chalk it up. Just making sure that you have March while being somewhat still useful and drop your laser rocket in team fights. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of self-ancient stacking here being done by G.
Yeah, may as well. You're going to start building towards that March, and you can quite quickly get back towards that middle lane, so no real time loss from him. He's going to do some warding of his own, it looks like, as well. He's been probably past those wards. Yep, by 1437. Just making sure he has the protection as well as the vision on the high ground, so he can scout the ganks coming through the mid lane. He'll spot out, well, Long DD, who puts a ward in the exact same place, so maybe he passes that information over onto his teammates, and we could see some de-warding happening, or at least for LG International, they know if they want to try gate mid, they're going to need to use another smoke.
Yeah, getting those D-ward is actually important, but bound the bot lane here. Xiaowei has a double damage, was looking for the Malefice. Thinking if he got off the Malefice, it wouldn't be a free kill, considered that there is a Black Hole and pretty decent amount of Eidolons. Is he going to still go for it? There's a Malefice on the bot lane. Only a level 2 Malefice, so that is going to be it in terms of stun. Oh, Black Hole, Black Hole. The recent change, or not so recent change, but the change of moving your Black Hole mana cost from 200 to 250, I think just cost him that kill there on Xiaowei.
Well, I don't think he's getting the kill, because DD Rune doesn't really help when you're Black Holing. You're not getting that damage. He's just,
having 6 Eidolons help, though.
He's trying to zone Pikehead out right now. He was just trying to zone Pikehead out to ensure he got that tier 1 tower, and he does succeed in doing so. I think the level 2 Malefice was just to make sure that Pikehead got out of the way, because Pikehead, he was sitting on about 600-700 HP.
Back on the top lane here. Brax being left kind of solo farm. Once you have phase as lifestealer, you're not really too afraid of the solo farm, especially when you have a max out rage. And of course, he's going to be going in his ultimate, so Brax doing okay. I just don't feel like the early aggression that we come to expect from the Radiant team, from the LG China team, is there. Although they're going to try to set up a gank here against...
This looks like Xiao Wei going down. Disruption, less direct stun, Nature's Prophet with some additional damage followed up. Easy pick off on him just after he gets that tier 1 tower gold. So he's up to 1k gold, but the pick off going to hurt him and slow him down a bit. As we are going to see more ancient stacking coming from G near the middle lane, and well, the pressure coming at the bottom tier 1 tower.
Again, you got to make sure that you do get these stacks off. Oh, the bear micro blocking the well, the bears don't need that. Well, okay. At least he blocked it. Glyph gets forced out on the bot lane here as LG concoct this push with Treants, with Edict. Let's see how much more they can do. Teleportation comes in as well. Shadow Shaman going to lead the charge at the shot, pulling back Creeway, denied. Not there.
Nope, not there. Enigma TP's in as well, so even more gold invested into this as both DDC and Xiao Wei rotate towards the bottom lane, and LG International, they'll be quite happy to see that many heroes invest their time coming bottom, considering they get the tier 1 tower. They didn't really seem to have too much intent to go onwards for the tier 2, and after this they can back off, look for a smoke gank, maybe look to pressure Silas some more. After giving up that first blood, he hasn't really been put under too much pressure since then, so seeing on 44 creep kills here, not really ideal for him, but it's enough to sort of cause LG International some worries.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad in the mid lane where there's a hill to walk with, there's a lot of harass, the 2 towers are a lot closer by, so I like the accomplishment being done so far. Marching machine being done, and again,
Bear.
You go stack, my bear is right there.
Every minute. I love Silas' play and decision making here. Some really smart play from him using that bear. Not allowing it to get stacked, and I imagine once it's been killed off, maybe he'll just prevent it from spawning every time at 1 minute.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, maybe nothing much you could do. Maybe start kind of pulling the ancients, or not pulling the ancients, pulling high neutral camps, if you will. He's actually here to even steal a creep or two, or at least try to. See the TP, gonna back off. And again, we're in a slow farm fest here, 2 kill advantage, but that really isn't too much. A 1,000 gold lead for the Radiant side. Brax getting relatively free from the top, which I think is an issue. And Juggernaut's getting big enough, I think.
He's getting big enough, but you'd expect more, because he's been up against Justice Lifesteal for some time.
He's only got 20 ACS.
Yeah, and the 2 supports on the Radiant team, they've ganked mid once, they got first blood mid, they then rotated bottom for the tier 1 tower. I guess Yao's supports have also left him. We saw the supports at time rotate as well, but for the most part, I feel Yao should have more farm, considering this is just a lifestealer he's been up against for at least a good 5 or 6 of these 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's definitely the case here. Mid lane though, here comes the Edict trying to push down the tower. Tower being tanked up by the bear. Bear's trying to really slow down this push, but I think you could do too much about tower now. We'll be focusing.
I'm wondering if we're looking at a Radiance game as well by Sylar. He hasn't bought any of those cheap, cost-effective items which you often see from a lone druid, so we may be looking at that. LGD China, though, back at top, it's starting to push at this tier 1. Oh my gosh. The March rockets just do so much work.
Yeah, that's where the war comes in, to heal just about everybody back up. And they're right-clicking on this tower. I think they are going to get that tier 1 tower, which is somewhat pretty big. Lifesteal comes in, right tower is going to get destroyed. Time for everybody to run out. Black hole is gonna come hit. It's gonna hit on Braxton. I talked about this one-man black hole. Can they get the kill though? Infest comes out. Not only does he survive, he gets a double kill off the aura. That was some sick play by Brax.
Sylar finds himself in a bit of trouble at bottom river, but yeah, Brax was just amazing. It looked to me like LG China had made the right decision to turn and fight. They had the black hole on Brax. They just had to bring him down. They didn't have enough damage though. And LG International, they get a double kill at top. They're also looking to get some pressure bottom lane, almost find themselves some additional kills. And, well, Pycat says, screw mech, I want my Midas. It's all about that money.
Well, maybe Midas first into something else later, but
yeah.
Earlier in that team fight up top, that's the difference between Magnusoul and Enigma. He channels 4-second ultimate right from level 1, but there's just no damage. I mean, again, you could blame teammates, where's the power shot, where's this spell and that, but when you don't have the the correct coverage in a sense, it's hard.
Yeah, I think if Juggernaut turns around and just fights right off the bat rather than running, and then they have enough damage, they were just short maybe 50, 60 damage there, it looked like. But unfortunately for them, they just didn't quite get enough, and even with him taking a few seconds to turn around, it still looked like they might have enough to bring him down, but it wasn't the case in LGD China. Well, they find themselves down 4 kills to nothing. They're trying to get themselves on the board here at mid lane. Shadow Demon caught well out of position, and LG China get themselves their first kill now.
Yeah, pretty good kill to pick up here. I mean, you still need more in those. Just the thing is, you can't really transition to push, or can you, as this healing ward is putting everybody back to decent amount of health. Marching Machine, layer after layer. Wards get dropped down as well, and I think LGD's going to get themselves another tower. Pretty good win here for LGD China.
This, to me, it's so similar to how LGD China were playing back at TI2. Just there's less morphling involved, but it was always this group up as 5 and just take down towers very systematically. And quite early on, they're doing the same thing here, using the Lone Druid as well as just these strong supports. Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman was like the go-to support hero at TI2 for some of these Chinese teams, especially when you're going for that group up as 5 and push and just sort of, I guess, prevent your opponents from being able to do anything. And we're seeing it sort of being revived here almost by LGD China.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, like we talked about, getting towers are so key in this particular matchup because you know the lifestealer is going to hit a peak about 35 minutes in. Anytime you can make sure that you're kind of on par in terms of item is good. Also, I'm a little bit disappointed that LG hasn't been doing too many successful smoking. Have they even done smoking yet?
The LGD Chinese team?
Or LG International?
They did, well, the one gank on mid lane early on, was that?
Oh, that's right,
yeah.
That's right.
That's been the only one so far. They've got another one on Shadow Demon now. Shadow Demon only level 5. I guess having that level 6 will help a lot. Especially ganking someone like Jug. Sure, he can spin and TP, but if he's not going to be TPing out, having the purge just to slow him can make a big difference.
Brax sitting pretty much on the front line, not really respecting what Talbog do with this Juggernaut. Here comes the entire team. If you could get the Hex off, it's a free Niche.
Well, we'll have to look and wait to see if he can get that initiate off. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case yet. Tinker with Boots of Travel can be TPing at any time, but he TP's mid now, so I don't imagine we see an engagement right off the bat. Otherwise, he's not going to be ready to TP top right away. So LG International, going to wait things out. We do see Lone Druid Sylar is going to be going once again for... Not going to be seeing that Radiance. It just doesn't seem to be the build of choice for any Lone Druid players anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the game is very, very slow in the nature. There's got to be a lot of farming. I think that inherently favors Dara because of semi-carry potential as well as Rasta being one of the better lane support. Who do you favor as this game is... Seems like neither team is really too interested to either smoke gank or do really get a big team fight for a tower or something like that. Who do you think your favorite is? We have such a passive play going the next 10-20 minutes.
Well, when we get to the 30-plus minute mark, it becomes a clash of two different styles. LG International, all about the split push. LGD China, they've got the strong team fight with the Enigma Black Hole. Shadow Shaman's a good team fight here with all his disables, but we'll have to look to see how they use him. They're trying to use him at top lane for a pick-off here. Can they get Brax? Nope, not going to be the case. It was bait. The Rage comes off right away. Omni starts going down the track and spin. 1437 is going to take a drop in the back lines. Zhao Wei now at front. Can he get for Black Hole? He's going to get sprouted up and... Well, G, TP's in. They are Surf Wards on the ground. Can he get the Black Hole? He gets G just caught into it. There's nothing to cancel the Black Hole. Split Earth comes a bit later and G Gonna take a fall, but it's at the cost of all these supports. Brax has just brought them down one by one. He gets entangled up. Infest his way out of there. These Infest timings have just been absolutely perfect, and the Split Earths from Misery are insane. Another timely Split Earth. The last one would have been a bit better earlier on to cancel the Black Hole, but it was on cooldown, and as a result, LG International, I think it was a 3 for 2 trade in favor of LG International.
Yeah, I felt like the Black Hole on one man was nice, but they gotta kill him quick. I mean, you're using a same thing like a Beastmaster or any other kind of single target spell early game. You gotta just make sure you get those quick kills. And they did, and they kind of like lost a lot of hero to drew out traces and whatnot.
Once Tinker died pretty fast. Not fast enough, I agree, in the Black Hole, but once he gets off the one layer of Marching Machines, those supports dropped so easily. Even though they didn't die immediately, it did take some time. They did end up dropping, and now Yao at top lane. He's sprouted up, he's stunned, he spins on cooldown. There's no TP out. Is there enough damage to bring him down? The phase, the drums, everything's getting used, and LG International, this is getting turned around on them. At least Pycat, he gets entangled, stunned up, and it looks like he's gonna be the one getting brought down at top lane.
Well, Blink backward here as LG done with what they want to see here. Gonna go back to the...
Well, they've taken all the tier 1s. They can almost go for Roshan soon if they really want. You've got Nature's Prophet down. You've got a lineup with Juggernaut, Lone Druid, and Enigma. And all these heroes are pretty good at taking an early Roshan. That's something LGD China, I imagine, would love to do right now.
I'm trying to figure out what LG China will be loving to do as well. This game is just so tame. Juggernaut's gonna pick up a Blade of Alacrity after his drum's gonna be going for the standard Yasha build.
Yep.
There's a big smoke gank. I've been trying to wait for a little bit of action here. And it's a little bit awkward to see Shadow Shaman that's going to do this game because he's so immobile, but looks like it's going to get on the mid lane. 1700 gold here on Enigma. That Blink's going to be almost finished up. Yeah, again, just the fact that Dire has the quote-unquote Dire Roshan advantage. The late game items, the late game heroes can use items better. And, well, back in the mid lane, or top lane, Shadow Demon got a kill.
Coming in. Tinker wants to turn this around. He wants long DD. Not going to get him, though, it looks like. And Lone Druid does give up the chase.
Another Armlet Bear? I mean, these Chinese players really showing the respect towards that Armlet Bear.
And these LG International supports, they drop one by one. First Shadow Demon, then Leshrac, and these kills, while not on any of the core heroes, it gives LG China time, space, and, well, it looks like potentially a free Roshan.
Well, they're going to try to at least fight for it. Roshan, yeah, I mean, Treants in the front, do they have a medallion? It looks like they don't even need one, just right-click. Yeah. Aegis, what do you think will go on, the actual bear or on Juggernaut?
I don't like it generally on bear just because of the fact you respawn in range form, but I don't think it's all too bad here. Juggernaut's also not. I think either or. I think Sylar more likely. Yeah, Sylar takes it. It's not really the best synergy because of when you respawn you're in the range form, but it's during the time you're respawning your Spirit Bear's still doing damage, not to mention it just means the enemy can't focus you down because the problem is not having the Ace on bear. The opponents can focus all their efforts in killing off the main hero if they so choose.
Yep. Tier 2 on the bot lane here, Armlet farming away. I gotta imagine it's the same build, right? Armlet Maelstrom coming from the build.
Yes, especially with this Gloves of Haste sitting there. There's nothing else that really turns into, so I imagine we see Armlet Maelstrom and then either Vlad's or the Assault Crest, depending what he wants to prioritize. Well,
here we go. Blink Dagger's back up, finish on Enigma. He's gonna run to an Observer Ward though. He does see Yao on the top lane. Although Yao definitely on his team and you can't exactly gank him. Nice tree kind of denying from high ground and low ground.
Well, Brax with the complete armlet, but he had that really good start top lane and dealt with the jug pretty decently, but it doesn't feel like he's been able to do a whole lot. He's trying to deal with long DD here and solo kill neutrals. Okay.
Well, that's still a decent kill, gives you EXP money. For me though, this game's going the fact that look at the goal lead that the Radiant had to enjoy about like 10 minutes, I would say 5 minutes. They had a 4,000 goal lead. Now, really close to 0. I mean, they had some early tower kills, but like you said, I mean, the Dire team is just going for the late game. Like they don't mind working with a small deficit up top, as long as they could kind of come back.
Yeah, and I think the big thing late game that does give them the advantage, like you say, the Roshan advantage. Being on that Dire side is what's going to help them out a lot. LG International have a great split push. I feel if LG International, you swap things around, then we have pretty much an even or even slightly favored LG International late game, but it's not the case. So LG International looking to apply a lot more pressure in the early game. They're being a bit more aggressive with their position, which is what you've got to do with their line. You can't just sit back and let your opponents farm. They have to look for some pickoffs here and there, but they just haven't been able to do it yet.
Yeah, I mean, when the supports are basically playing hide and seek with you, you really don't actually find anybody. Tinker on the bot lane has a blink finish. Let's have a pile of gold stockpiled up. This is the type of ice build, right? It can be really Dagon. I mean, Dagon's good and all, but you really want to at least have a little bit better initiation for your team.
I'd be surprised if he went for a Dagon here. I don't think the burst damage is going to do much against the Juggernaut, the Lone Druid, the Enigma, and those are the big three here. The squishier supports, you're dealing with them just fine with Martin Machines, Rockets, all that other jazz, so I don't think it's going to be an essential thing to get something like a Dagon here. Maybe if he really wants to go something like a Ghost Scepter, I suppose you could before your side device, if he was feeling that he's on a bit of a budget, needs to get himself some more farm, but for the moment, it looks like there's plenty of time to farm up that straight side device if he wants to, because LGD China aren't going to be looking to apply a whole lot of pressure anytime soon.
Which is important for the Radiant to take advantage of that farm time here. EXP quick kick check. I do imagine the Radiant support is a little bit behind. Yeah, Shadow Demon really being down the list. The Shrek being the second lowest. I mean, they're getting some decent items, but their level is just maybe falling a little bit behind. They're trying to catch up though in the jungle though, and you do get quite a bit of EXP there.
Yeah, the Radiant, the three cores are all doing pretty well, but it's like you say, the Shadow Demon especially falling a bit far behind here. And as far as net worth goes, it is the Radiant team with the slight edge as far as Tinker and Nature's Prophet are concerned. Then you've got the Lone Druid Lifesteal, so 3 of the top 4 are on the LG International side. And that's something which they do have to look forward to, but the XP is with a slight edge to the Dire squad. But it's very little separating the two teams. Aegis on the Dire side, but they're not using it to push. They're quite happy just to use it to buy time to farm.
Yeah, as long as gotta be very careful. As long as like the Lone Druid don't really make that Aegis being used pointlessly, they're okay. Like if they trade the Aegis for 2 extra kills or something, or maybe even a tower, they're happy with that trade. If not, they will just back off and keep doing whatever he's been doing. Don't get picked off and keep farming, I guess.
Well, here we go. LGD China. It's time for a smoke gank. It's time to do something. We've got 3 smoked at top lane. They are going to be sending Yao there as well, and well, Brax is walking right into him. It's a two-man squad here with Shadow Demon, so there is a defensive disruption. Shadow Poison comes out. They're pinging it. They've seen now. Brax is on the run. Can they catch up to him? He's going to pop the rage. Looks like he is going to get out of there with phase boots as well as drums. They can't really keep up, and he's going to escape just fine. So LGD International dodging that gank. That's a nice little win for them. A wasted smoke gank and also wasted time where LGD China could have been farming.
Speaking of could have been farming, a lot of dual pulling going on. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, also a little bit of pushing coming out from Tinker. Tinker's just being really annoying. I mean, Lone Druid don't mind. He could defend it pretty easily, but just like, damn, if he's not there, your tower is dead.
And he's doing the annoying thing where you blink into the trees, just keep putting march after march down, and ganking him is really difficult. If you're a blinking hero, well, your blink's most likely getting cancelled by the march, and you can't really gank him when he's immediately blinking into these trees.
Yeah, you need something like Flying Vision overhead or spells to cut down trees, which they do have in the form of Midnight Pulse. I'm not sure how reliable that is. Blink Dagger could be a kind of a fine chase.
Yeah, he went for it there. He popped a fast Blink Midnight Pulse. He was trying to hunt down Tinker at bottom lane, but Tinker's already got it now. And that's the one thing for Tinker. As soon as you see the Enigma, you're blinking away. Knowing that Enigma has both Blink as well as Midnight Pulse, 2 spells to help find you in those trees.
Nick, we do see Braveheart, Lone DD on the bot lane, passing Illusion Rune. Or they start looking to do a little bit more pressure. Teleport goes up on the top lane. That is going to be from the Tinker. This game very, very slow here. 25 minutes in, 8-6 in the favor of Dire in terms of the kill. Or Radiance.
And even those few clashes we had, they were very, very tame.
It's just random pickoff. Again, neither team could actually get a very decisive win. Pick off a couple of heroes, go for towers. We haven't seen any of that just yet.
The Brax double kill with the Infest was nice, but it wasn't really a standard team fight or any sort of big overall strategic win for LGD International. It was a nice bit of individual play coming out of Brax, but we haven't seen those big strategic... Neither team, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, well, what did LGD International do to get further ahead or to win this game? It's like, well, I don't know. They just kind of have to wait it out. Wait till mid to late game. Wait till they get their item. Same case for LGD China. Neither team can really do anything now. It's this waiting game. It's all about the sort of the setup for that late game. Who can have the better set for late game, which is going to come down to small little smoke ganks, farming as efficiently as possible, taking down Roshans where you can. And right now, neither team going for those big team fights. LG China are going for another smoke gank, which is, it's not really looking to set up a big team fight. It's just to get another little pick off and set up for that late game.
Yeah, Nigma leading the charge in front because he's got the initiation. I mean, Dire has such good defensive wars. One down the one ramp, one up the ramp. It looks like they want to actually get a kill on Brax. Brax knows something's up. Oh, can he actually TP out live? Omnislash will go through magical immunity if he's going for the TP. Open wounds being used. There's the blink just yet. He's waiting for the rage on cooldown. Invests into a creep. Well, what do you do?
Dire's bottom tower
Well,
is
you can
under
wait it out. I guess they have to try and... A conversion is coming back up in 30 seconds, which is a long, long time. They don't know which is real. They want the creep to be in front, and it is, but LG International, they're going for the split push at bottom. They really want to kill Brax, but they can't. They just have to ditch this. They have to go back and defend.
Another tier 2 for a tier 1 trade. Although the Radiant having the quote-unquote better linking result, maybe not.
That was just a tier 2. They didn't actually trade it for anything. They traded for a Shadow Demon kill.
Which is not really worth anything.
They were looking for Brax, and that was one of those. That was one of those scenarios where you smoke gank expecting to maybe get a big kill out of it, and as soon as they run to Shadow Demon, they're thinking, "Oh crap! This is just." He acts as basically as a human observer ward for Brax. Brax wouldn't have escaped there if Shadow Demon wasn't there. So it was some fortunate positioning from LG International that they lose the less important hero. And well, now we'll have to see how LG China. Both teams still well in this game. That's really the next 10 minutes. I don't see either team anything happening that's going to give one team a big advantage. LG International with about a 3k lead right now, but it doesn't feel like they're massively far ahead.
I'm going to try my best to fix it quick. In which case, please have my back.
What's up?
My Dota 2 just crashed. So.
Okay, no, that's cool. I didn't realize. All good. But we are going to be seeing LGD International look to it's playing the farming game, and when you've got these Scythe of Ice coming up, why not? Pycat's finished his. Tinker's close to his. He's only about 1k gold away, and that's going to be 2 Scythes of Ice on their squad. Even their supports, Leshak with the 4 staff now. As far as overall item progression, we'll take a bit of a closer look. Brax has got his Basher up on top of his armlet, and the Dire side, it just doesn't seem quite as impressive. I guess the support's actually doing really nicely here. Long DD with a 4 staff, Shadow Shaman with the Drum of Endurance, and then you've got Lone Druid. How close is he to an Assault Crest? He's got Armlet, Maelstrom, and the Hyperstone, so he still needs the rest of the pieces. He's got the Hyperstone, and once we see the Assault Crest, LG's China, it's really a case where LG International, at no point do I feel they can just go for a 5-man push. If they're going to win this game, it's going to be with split farming, getting pick-offs, and split pushing. They can't really ever take a head-on fight up against the Rubik, Juggernaut, Lone Druid, and Enigma. Enigma's going to have a BKB at some point with a Blink. It has gone for the Blink tag, and we're looking at a BKB and just 600 gold, so BKB, Blink, nothing to cancel it.
I mean, yeah, the BKB is by far the biggest item in this particular game. Maybe they'll push with that available. I guess we're talking about the late game, the lack of late game power on the Radiant side. I mean, Tinker is definitely a very late game powerhouse. I'm not sure if you were really talking about, you have the chance to talk about that. Nature's Prophet, though, he's also a big late game powerhouse. He's got Scythe. He's level 17.
He's got a Lifestealer Infestor in him, too. But
he does.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to find too much here. LG China, once again, they timed Roshan. They were in there 2 seconds before it respawned, and they take it down right away.
Roshan has fallen.
I mean, if there's just zero pressure coming up, LG China will be doing this all day.
Yeah. I think LG International would rather give away Roshan than take a teamfight there, though. Their lineup is not built for taking a teamfight there.
I mean, at this point, right, like LG says, maybe you don't even push with the Aegis, although LG China, I think they're thinking a little bit differently.
When they've got a BKB coming on Enigma, I think they should really look to do so soon.
This is a very good time to push, I completely agree. You have your Aegis, you have your BKB finish on Shao 8. Maybe they'll wait a little bit though, and of course, this is a good time here if you're LGD International to make sure that Equilibrium is pushed in, at least on the both sidelines. Make sure that you, I mean, how does the Dire team ever push out against this? I mean, that's something that we really haven't considered. Yeah. Tinker, Butch Travel, Wrath of Nature, Global TP.
Invisibility.
They don't really have that great defending global hero. No one's got Booster Travel. No one can really be all that mobile. Lone Druid, he hasn't got the Radiance that he can put on his Spirit Bear to push out those other lanes. They've just got to really time their pushes, which they're doing now. Look at bottom lane. It's not really applying pressure. Neither's top. They've got a lot of heroes mid. They actually got Brax, and, well, mid lane now looking to be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the initiation coming here with just a Scythe or Hex. And that's all they really need. Of course, Entangle being really applied. Look at the Spear. Armlet, Maelstrom, AC. I think they're looking to at least do a substantial amount of damage on this tower, if not end it. Of course, you have your Martian Machine, but oh, BKB gets popped. Was he looking for Blink, Misclick, or whatever? That's a 10-second, but the Healing Ward is doing a ton of kind of ignoring this Martian machine. Normally he can never push against Mystery, lands another splitter, but the healing ward is just like, well, I mean, don't really care.
Yeah, and LGD China, you can see the power of this lineup. You've got the lone druid who can just go for that slow siege as long as you're in a position where the split push isn't coming. And Pycat, this side of the Vice build is nice, but it's more team fight pick-off item, or it's not really going to help for split pushing. You want more damage if that's the case. And, well, LG China are going to back off, probably push out their lanes and go for another 5-man push once the BKB's back off. A bit of a misclick, it looks like. Or if it wasn't a misclick, he was going for a BKB blink, and I think maybe the March or a Rocket stopped his blink. I think going for a BKB blink into a Malefice, you don't even have to... Using just BKB to go off a Malefice stun to initiate is definitely a legitimate way to play the Enigma. If you get a pick off, that could be the ability to go high ground, get tier 3 tower, and potentially Raxes.
Oh, Yao has got to be very, very careful. There's a blink scythe on Tinker. That is your life stealer bomb, infest bomb to really initiate. So even if you're Yao, you got to be really respecting that, because the spin, he might just catch you out of kind of your comfort zone and then hex you before anything happens. So you're using this crit wave to bait, and Yao's going to show up, maybe take this bait. Will the Radiant team react? Let's see.
You know, the one thing I really like about what LG China have done is the farm distribution. Their supports are both looking really farmed. You got Shadow Shaman level 12 with drums, arcane boots. He's going to have a brace as well as 900 gold. Long DD's got gem, 4-star, arcane boots, and 1700 gold. He's actually only sitting on 800 HP, but I imagine he picks up something to give him some HP after this. And then you've got your 3 cores, all who have a decent amount of farm. So both teams in fact have done a good job getting their supports farm, but especially LGD China.
Well, the thing about LGD International, your support not going to get too much farm later on. Oh no, they catch G on the background here. He uses a scythe, but can they actually get the kill? The Malefice Mech coming up to make sure that Xiao 8 doesn't die. They get the kill. Regen gets pop here. Enigma. I think this is going to be at least a tier 2, or they're going to go straight down the middle lane and go for the Rex. Here, if you're playing on the Pycat's position, you got to make sure you get those split off.
Yeah.
Split push off, and you make sure that you don't die.
LG didn't go straight top lane. They said, we got to split push this. There's a tier 2 tower though there. They've got to get through that. Not to mention, well, there's a glyph up on the Dire side. Have the Radiant team got their glyph? They do as well. So both teams with glyph here. Tier 2 tower will take a fall. They're using the glyph nice and early to get them some time to get even further up. And there's your buyback. Tinker's going to start layering marches, rocket spam, and immediately LG China, they said, let's not push. Let's back off. Oh no, they cancelled their TPs.
Well,
someone cancelled a TP.
Pycat, he's actually right-clicking. I think he's gonna get it, but it looks like the Dire says you're gonna get our tower anyways. We're gonna go down the mid lane. Oh, 4-stab lift on Mystery Blink, but defensive disruption. There's a hex on Xiao 8. Xiao 8 should be fine. He's very far back. The ward gets dropped down. Nice micro by the Shadow Demon Illusions to pick down the ward.
Well, LG China a bit indecisive there. Well, maybe it was a bit just the wrong decision, because they did look to TP top and then either they cancelled it or it was a bit of a misplay, but they tried to re-engage at mid, couldn't find the pick off they were after, and they're going to swing bottom, so they're going to go for this tier 2 tower, but this Aegis of theirs is going to be expiring in about 1.5 minutes time. Yeah,
that felt like half the team said, all right, we'll defend, you know, we couldn't push mid, and half the team said, no, we could just still push this. And the miscommunication here and there, they're not going to get the defense. They've lost quite a bit. And here we go, the War Trap on the Bear. The Bear doesn't really care. And looks like they're going to walk right in. Oh, Shire, he walks in. BKB, he gets Persia up. I think they're playing way too aggressive than they actually need to be. Smith's going to hit him too. Yao's going to be dead. Black Hole is only going to hit him one, which is not going to really matter too much. Sylar, he gets Scythe up here, and it's going to be full-time retreat. They do get Sylar. He gets Gold Scepter. Another Splitter. Man, Misery is hitting all the Splitter one after another, but will it be enough though? The tower has already went down. The team is retreating, and I guess overall it's not too bad. They lost Yao, which kind of got picked off, and they lost a Shadow Shaman as well, but they got off a Shadow Demon as well as a tier 2.
Well, uh-oh. That looks like a dead long DD. He's refreshing the Blink. Blink, Hex, nope. 4-star.
Blink 2, why don't you blink? You got 4-star up as well. That's a free kill being taken up. There's a gem being taken.
I don't think he noticed. Oh no, let's check. Misery going to pick it up.
And the big thing for me is that any kill you get right now is so much harder for the Dire to actually push out, because LG China would never push out without 5, and well, that's a lot more time for split push coming up. That's a tier 2 being destroyed as well. I felt like LG China could have this game if they don't make those mistakes. Xiao 8 really aggressive on the blink. It seems like that misclick early on the BKB, I don't think it's a misclick. He popped the BKB, he wanted blinked in. and it got cancelled by the March. I feel like they're aggressively looking for these black holes, and they don't need to.
And he threw a hole just for the sake of it at the end. It caught one, and it caught one who was the Shadow Demon. A hero who was going to die regardless and offered absolutely nothing. Shadow Demon once again caught out, though, at top lane. 1437, a bit too aggressive with his positioning, and, well, he needs to be... I'm not sure if I was trying to do some aggressive warding there or what, but either way, he gets caught out. Xiao Wei, well, you mentioned him, those black holes only hitting Shadow Demon last fight. He's going to really look to prioritize catching the Life Stealer, possibly even one more, but if anything, just catch Life Stealer. Doesn't matter anything else, because Lone Druid almost brought down the Life Stealer. They just needed that extra bit of lockdown. They just couldn't find it.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the Tinker, that's not bad too, because he does provide a lot of annoying margin machine and things of that nature with Scythe. Prophet's not a bad catch, as long as you catch one of the bigger heroes. It can't just be a Shadow Demon and the Lishrak. It's got to be one of the big carries, and then maybe a support alongside.
The good news for LGD China is they have this safety cushion to fall back on, that is Roshan. Every 10 minutes, they're the ones in better position to take it, unless LG International come up with some really nice plays as far as pushing out waves and finding pickoffs here and there, and taking a bit of a risk to actually contest for it. But it should be LG China who are the ones controlling the Roshan pit. LG International, well, they've got all their buybacks to fall back on as their safety cushion, so if they want to contest the Roshan, they can look to do so with Pycat with a finished MKB. He's got buyback. Lifestealer has buyback, as does Tinker, so they could look to take some chances here in the near future.
Well, we're back to farming, and I always talk about how late game you cannot underestimate Scythe of Ice, but it feels like LGD has farmed with Scythe of Ice so quickly that they really reached the late game. Is there more room for the LGD International team to really go? They're going to go for a big smoke angle. You can see, I mean, they have a lot of damage on the Nature's Prophet. He's nowhere near done in terms of maxing his slots, but do you feel like items is going to make him better at the same rate that items is going to make the LG China team better?
I think Lifestealer is one hero who can scale quite well with a few more items. Get a finished Abyssal Blade as well as maybe an MKB of your own or an Assault Crest, and things could be looking pretty good for him, but right now he just doesn't have the gold if he wants to be saving buyback as well for it. He's sitting on 3.3k gold, which is maybe one of those items, and he wants a bit more than that. He's going to go back to farming at the top lane, but his net worth is well behind his Tinker as well as Nature's Prophet. And how do you farm up the Assault Crest, the Abyssal Blade, the MKB, or whatever you want as Brax when you've got a Nature's Prophet and Tinker taking all these lanes?
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, you're always...
He's caught out here. This is... he's got buyback, but this is a lot of gold, a lot of XP being given away.
Yeah, you can't give away those free buybacks. And this is draw a mech as well as a ward coming out for Shadow Shaman, but they'll take that. Looks like the frames are being dropping again. There's just Shanghai servers.
Well, that's not good. You can reconnect quickly. It doesn't look like there's too much action going on. We've finally got ourselves... It's taken 3 games, Lumi. We had, well, game 1, which was the one-sided affair. Game 2, we had Treant Protector. Game 3, we have our more... a more classical Chinese Dota chess match, where it's a more strategical battle. A game of wits and just decision-making more than anything. And so far, I'd say LG International have had the slightly better decision-making. LGD China have sort of just gotten a bit too overzealous at times, looking for those fights, and Enigma just sort of going in with the BKB a bit unnecessarily. And LG China, they do have this cushion to fall back on, which they're going to maybe look to try to do soon. Roshan is back up for a 3rd time. This time it's Cheese and Aegis. The Lone Druid Bear is in the pit, but right now is not the time to really be going for it. They've got to push out top as well as bottom lane. Or at least mid and bottom. They can go for Roshan and then take Roshan and then immediately TP back to defend the tier 3, but it looks like they may actually do that. They're going into the pit. Lone Druid's there, as is Yao, so they're going to go for a quick Roshan here, and there's no raiding heroes in sight. Another free Roshan from LGD China, which I guess is what their lineup is designed to do, not to mention something that LG International's lineup isn't good at preventing.
Yeah, I mean, they don't prevent it, they can't prevent it, so the entire team goes up on top and says, alright, let's try to take this opportunity to make sure we get the equilibrium going in. That's going to force the entire LG China team to defend that one, which will free up Profit to start pushing the other lanes. Let's see if that's going to be the rotation that's being made by both teams. Abyssal Blade up on Lifestealer, but, I mean, you could Abyssal maybe the Enigma, but I don't think Enigma, I mean, he's going to die most likely, but he's tanky it for his allies, so he doesn't really care too much.
Yeah, and Enigma, Ghost Scepter now, we'll see what his late game item progression is going to be. Maybe just some Boots of Travel. If anything, maybe even a Refresher Orb. When one Black Hole's not enough, get a second.
Yeah, I mean, he's saving for Buyback right now, which is ultimately the safest choice. But we're 41 minutes in. It doesn't feel like anybody's winning. There's no clear sign who's gonna win.
Yeah.
It feels like Dire is gonna eventually eke out some monetary advantage. Gold chart should reflect that. No, Radiant's still leading in terms of gold. I'm completely surprised. This is given what, the second or the third Roshan being taken?
Yeah, third Roshan. Cheese and Aegis. We've got Cheese up on the Juggernaut. He's got a complete butterfly, and this is... I like the item progression slightly better from the die side, and I feel the gold graph isn't quite telling the whole story. There's been a couple buybacks from LG International. I think if you added up the net worth, it would actually be the dire side leading as far as overall items. You've got, even just looking at the supports, Rubik has both Blink and Force Staff. Enigma's got BKB, Blink, Mech, Ghost Scepter, 3k gold. All of these heroes have a ton of farm and gold. Over on the LGD side, Brax, Armlet, FaZe, Abyssal Blade. By no means is he under farm, but he's not looking particularly rich. Pycat is. He's the one here on that Radiant team who is looking really rich. G's looking pretty rich, but I feel overall the dire side is just looking to be in a much more sort of all-around versatile, stable position as far as their overall farm distribution.
Yeah, and I think it's up to LG to kind of crack this tough neck to open, or tough nut, or whatever that saying actually is. They have what it takes. The Blink opening with the Lifestealer going in of the Tinker, the follow-up with the Abyssal Blade. They can kill anyone so easily. And here comes the team fight. War gets dropped down. There's an immediate Cypher on the Bearer. And of course, here comes the Juggernaut illusion. Guild gets popped out here. The healing wall in the background. That's a big one. I think maybe the Raiden needs to send an illusion to actually or something to kill that one. But the mech, the healing war back up, and they just slowly pile through.
Cheese, this is the power of Cheese and Aegis. LG International, if they didn't have Cheese and Aegis, they'd take a risk and engage, especially when all these heroes on the Radiant side have buyback, except Pycat. Everyone has all the key heroes, Lifesteal and Tinker. And they're not going to go in regardless. Actually, Lifesteal may be a couple hundred short, but they can't go in because of Cheese and Aegis. All these heroes on the LG side just have too much survivability and extra lives, and as a result, free racks for absolutely nothing in return.
Yeah. I mean, what's going to stop LG China from doing that again?
Nothing. They've got Aegis for 3-4 minutes. They're going to go for it again, and LG International are going to say, well, we've got to go in.
No, G, he can't get picked off. He pops his ghost. He's got no aftershock. He does cancel it, and G forced to buyback. Which is not to say that, I mean, sure, he's got the buyback. That means in the next fight, he doesn't have that extra buyback to protect his team, protect his base with.
I'm about to say the one thing that could stop it happening again is having all three heroes with buyback. Lifestealer, Tinker, and Nature's Prophet. Now, only 2 of them do. Last team fight, they only had one hero, the Tinker with buyback. But this time, Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet do, but Tinker's just used his up. And more pickups coming. Jiawei, BKB, very preemptively popped once again. He's looking for 1437 and will find the pickoff.
Yeah, he saw Prophet Prophet on 1437 top lane, but back on the bottom where he teleports in, Blink side, they're gonna go on Styler. Styler extremely tanky with H as well as Center. Lone DZ on the run, but actually, Tinker's out of mana. Because he can't rearm. The Bear's actually driving away. Pycat tangled through. Does he have the tangle?
Oh, the lift.
Gets lifted up. Pycat's gonna go down. Does he have buyback? He does.
And this is just disastrous for LG International because they're using these buybacks not to defend. It's just because they get picked off. And they're like, well, they have to buy back as well because they got to keep up split pushing pressure no matter what. Not to mention, you're getting farm as soon as you buy back. But it's all about keeping that pressure up and keeping the lane pushed out as much as possible, which you need all your heroes to do. But they need these buybacks for when the next 5-man push comes because this Aegis still has about almost 2 minutes left on it. So LGD China should just be looking at another 5-man push. Go down mid, go down bottom, wherever it may be. Even just straight through mid for the tier 4 towers you could go for right now.
Well, they're going to take their sweet time because they definitely have the advantage. Shadow Shaman adding up a Blink Dagger to the inventory. They're going to do a quick inventory check. I know we've been doing a lot of these checks, but look at the mobility that's coming out from the LG China squad. Double Blink Dagger on the supports. They would never really get caught out, although with the Blink Scythe, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to talk about. Of course, Gold Scepter is going to be the choice here on Shao going Breach of Travel. Butterfly's up here on Yao. And of course, the Bear is completely stacked, so whenever the Dire decides to do so, they could kind of just push down the mid, push down the bottom, and start getting some Braxes.
Yeah, I feel that this composition is going to be really powerful. Top lane, Yao. Spin TP, perfectly timed. The TP from G was looking for a Blink Hex there at the top lane. Same for Pycat. He was TPing in looking for a Hex, but they couldn't find it in time. And without these pickoffs, LG International just aren't finding any openings to get into this game. LG China, I think they're going to wait for next Roshan because they're not going to be able to use this Aegis now. This
Why
Aegis,
not?
well, it's about to expire.
No. I mean, why not wait for the?
Yeah.
There's just no pressure at them to do anything. Split push is just basically trading farm against Long Drip, which he will happily trade you farm.
Yeah.
And of course, Juggernaut, the semi carry is fully on. It drums Manta straight into Butterfly. Like he's gonna be chopping up and chasing some towards it very easily.
And next push, you're looking at, well, another item on top of that. MKB, maybe whatever it may be. Ag Scepter, Desolator. He'll have another big item coming soon. Misery. Whew. Forced stuff to the high ground. He's still in trouble, though. Stun on Yao. Hex up. Actually, this can be turned around maybe by G. It's just sort of a defensive Hex more than anything. Misery. BKB falls from Zhao Wei. Another BKB coming down. He does take out the Shadow Demon. This Shadow Demon, 1437, not having the best time. And now they're going to Misery. There is a life stealer. Infest into Nature's Prophet. He's going to try and fight his way through this. Omni Slash. Pycat taking the entire Omni Slash. He's got to run for it. We are going to see Zhao Wei. 20 HP. 20 HP. Ghost Scepter. He saves his own life. Now the spin coming out from Yao. He's looking to chase down G. There's no blink. There's no escape. Shackles dead. Looks like
That's
GG,
right? Yeah, no buyback. Healing Ward's gonna put
Yeah.
everything back to full HP. The Bear's like alive. He's got MKB, Maelstrom. I don't think they even play around with the Raxus. Do they throw? No, they are gonna go for the Raxus. Lifestealer has buyback, but by himself, what he can actually do. Look at this Bear just demolishing this tower.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop this push, it looks like. And just two supports and a life steal alive with it. Tinker and Nature's Prophet both on the sidelines. They're going to go for tier 4s. They get the Raxus just to make sure that they're playing this safe, because if they don't get the throne now, it's a big disaster for it. But having that Raxus means, whether this works or not, they're still going to be so far ahead, and they're now going to find the support. 1437 gets his 9th death of the game. There's your Black Hole just on Brax. Well, Zhao Wei's not had the best games as far as Black Holes, but sometimes just the fear of a Black Hole is enough to take down an opponent, and in this case it was with LGD International.
Yeah, slow and a very grindy game, but LGD made ultimately fewer mistakes. We saw multiple heroes dying, multiple heroes that shouldn't be dying. Tinker, the Nature's Prophet, forced to buy back because that's the game they play, split push, and ultimately ran out of resources, can't buy back, didn't have time, and they just lost after getting picked off more.
Well, that concludes everything for today, guys. We only have one best of 3. We'll be doing a rebroadcast of all our matches from today, which is just the one best of 3. For those of you who missed Game 1 or the Epic Game 2, where we got a very unusual Treant Protector pick, we'll be playing a rebroadcast right after this. But this is going to conclude today. We've got more action coming up tomorrow. IG are going up against Chain Stack. That is going to be a big David versus Goliath story, but somehow I think the story may not go according to plan.
Well, we are a little bit biased towards David, but
I fear for them. Especially apparently playing with a stand-in or two, but I think stand-ins aside, this is IG here. This is.
I'm actually very curious. I mean, we've seen Chain Stacks pick up Anti-Mage and just demolish teams with the way they do it with style as well. Sometimes they go Battle Fairy, sometimes they go Vanguard Vlads and Yasha. I want to see what IG, who is the best team in the world, what will they do against that? I
think IG just completely dismantle them, outplay them individually. That's something where Chain Stack really shine, is their individual play. They have strong mechanics, laning. They're pub stars. That's how they sort of became known and famous, is that they were this 5-man pub stack on the Southeast Asia server full of tryhards. That's why they're the Chain Stack. And they've got great individual skill, but putting that up against IG, that individual skill will no longer carry you anymore. So I think they get completely destroyed. I hope they don't, but it's probably going to be what happens tomorrow.
Yep, I am going to be looking forward to that as well. But that's going to conclude our broadcast for today. We will have rebroadcasts of today's series. So if you guys didn't watch some of the early games, stick tuned and watch that. But for now, this is Luminous and Gods, and we will be signing off for Beyond the Summit.
Yep, signing off now. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and be sure to follow us as well as Beyond the Summit. Click that follow button under the stream. You get to know whenever we go live, as well as what we're going live with. And if you want to really support Beyond the Summit, you can subscribe to the channel. You get lots of fun emoticons. And also you get no ads on stream. And thanks everyone for tuning in. You can also follow myself as well as Luminous. Luminous is Luminous Inverse everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm BTS Gods on Twitter. And that's probably all that matters. So be sure to follow us, as well as be sure more than anything to follow Beyond the Summit on Twitch TV, so you know when we go live. We'll be playing the rebroadcast now, and well, that concludes our best of 3 for today. I won't spoil the result anymore, as we'll be doing our quick rebroadcast now. So anyways, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for IG up against Chain Stack. See you guys.